right? Shalom. Call Loyam La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Kwadash, which is the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kwadash, the holy tongue for the one true name of the Heavenly Father. The Ancient of Days, the creator of all energy, whom the world ignorantly calls God, which is simply a title meaning power. In fact, it's the same definition for the word Allah, another title meaning power. You see, the Lord has many titles. The Most High has many titles, but he has one name. And that would be Yahweh, not Yahweh, but Yahweh. And that of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, though the letter J wasn't even derived until the 16th century. Not much more to be said there. Alright, being Yahweh Shai. And there is no other name given among men whereby ye must be saved, man. As it is written, Acts 4 and 12. According to the book we all say to believe, man. Alright, and I'd like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GM Mesquite Millstone, who have taught me this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutations unto all those of you hopeful, faithful, potential members of the elect out there doing the best to make the calling of your election sure, man. Alright, Lord willing, this be edifying. Alright, and as I said, man, the book that we all, right, say we believe, man. And the reason I say that is because many of us actually don't believe in this book, but we believe in, you know, some idea that's been conducted off of your own heart, man. Let's see. Before I grab this revelation, let me go ahead and grab Isaiah real quick. Chapter 55. Verse 8, it says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, saith the Lord." Verse 9, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." You see, at the end of the day, man, hey, you know, we have this flesh upon us, man, right? The flesh is wicked. As it is written, the heart is wicked, and who could know it? You see? So, at the end of the day, you got this filthy flesh upon you that allows you to pollute yourself, man, and to pollute this truth, ultimately. It's very easy for us to be susceptible to some bullshit when it comes to these scriptures, man. For you to blindly just go astray and wound up, you know, completely disregarding what these scriptures say, man. Alright, and a prime example of that is the scripture that we're getting ready to start with, which was what? Revelation chapter 2 and let's see, verse 26. It says, and he that overcometh, and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. You see the scripture right here, man. This goes contrary to many, if not all, these religions' beliefs, man. That he that overcomes will give power over who? The nations. And what are they going to do with these nations, right? Verse 27, it says, "And he will rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken into shivers, even as I received of my Father." You see that? So they're going to take these heathen nations and break them as a potter's vessel, man. And why is that? Because, hey, they've been, just like we've been institutionalized and we're learning how to come out of this world, beginning with being reborn through the blood of Yahweh Shai, right? They have been institutionalized, man. But they're not going to be able to be reborn through the blood of Yahweh Shai. They're going to have to be reborn through what, man? The flame. You see? They got to go, man. We got to basically destroy, all right, what's been built to establish order on this earth, man. Which is why the Heavenly Father plans to destroy this place by fire. The purest cleaning element that there is, man. All right, and then basically, through that sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, right, the elect have been forgiven, so in turn, Israel could be forgiven. So there could be a proper order set up on this earth, beginning with that governing body, which is why they were given the laws in the first place, man. So they're going to cause this earth to follow in the tune and the rhythm and the beat of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, which is going to cause everything to live and not die. It's just that easy, man. Right? We were told that the wages of sin is death. If you're following the scriptures, if you're following the law, which is which sin is the transgression of the law, right? Pursuant to 1 John 3 and 4, then hey, there ain't no need to die, man. You see, in fact, it reiterates it, as we got on, one of the previous lessons, in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe verse 55, verse 56, to get to the point, it says, the sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. So this is telling you point blank period, man, that the sting of death, the instrument that brings forth death, in this analogy, a bee sting, right, is actually, though it was a bee sting, in reality, it's sin, man. Sin is what brought that death upon your ass, man. It says, and the strength of sin is the law. So, right, hey, if the law is going to be written within you, therefore, this filthy flesh that's upon you, as I was mentioned earlier, is made clean. Hey, then you're going to govern this earth in perfection, man. And that's going to cause the earth to follow along, man. All right, just as prophecy states, going back to the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 1, and it reads, well, we'll go ahead and just get to the point. Verse 2, it says, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth out of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks, and their spears, and their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So you see, this is going to lead to peace on earth, man. That's ultimately what it's going to lead to. You see, and this is, again, right, the ways that they're going to be being taught are what? Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 6, it says, verse 5, it says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land where ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear of these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath God so nigh unto them? As the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for. Hey, so that nation again, right, being the Israelites, being put over the earth, is going to cause the earth to follow along in that rhythm, so to speak, man. They're going to establish the laws of the Heavenly Father, the vessels that the Heavenly Father created to fulfill that need, all right? Which is why the scriptures also say this, man. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 2, it reads, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all that dwell therein. Hey, so that's what you see in the world today, man. These people have followed to the rhythm and the beat of the base of man. All right, as it is written, Job 9 and 24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked, and they've moved according to that wicked beast, the base of man, as I mentioned earlier. All right, he who enlargeth his desire as hell, as you'd read in the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. All right, there's many names for this base of man. If we follow prophecy, it would tell us since the very beginning who this man is, man. And who he'd be in these last days, reiterated throughout prophecy. these last days, he'd be in a place of power. And what he'd do is cause the world to follow along after him, man. And the world has done exactly that. The world has become upside down. Folly is set in great dignity, as it is written. You see, let's go ahead and get a quick example of this of one of these prophecies, all right? Because all these prophets were prophesying about really the same thing, right? And it's all come together in the book of Revelation, where, you know, basically John the Revelator saw these visions of the prophecies and reiterated them, man. So let's go back to one of these prophecies, Daniel chapter 8 and verse 23. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to a full, a king of fierce countenances and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Now, according to the world, this is the time that civilization began. According to the Bible, this is the time that great evils were multiplied on the earth. All right, the time of the Grecians coming into power, which would mark the time of these Idumeans, the Edomites, coming into power, the base of man, the beasts in which I spoke of earlier, who would be in power in these last days, according to the very prophecy we read, right? In fact, it says, verse 24, and his power, or Salakia, verse 24. It says, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power, and he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people, being who? The Israelites, man. You see? This is what he'd be doing. This is what the Grecians were doing. This is what happened during the time of the Grecians coming into power. This is what what Hanukkah is all about, right? During the time of the oppressions of the Greeks and how we overcame them in a battle, right? But then what? Hey, they wear the crown as the Romans, right? These same creatures, the Edomites. Basically, man, these devils been fighting for power among themselves. That's what World War II was really all about, man. Exactly. In fact, one of my favorite wars because of that. There's nothing better than watching these Edomites just tear each other up, man. All right, but hey, at the end of the day, it's been promised to one people, and that's the people who he gave the law to, man. And that the reason why the world is in the condition it's in, because the people who are in rulership, they were given what? The law and wisdom of death, man. What is their blessing? Pursuing the prophecy as I spoke of earlier. The sword, man, the knowledge of destruction, which is why he enlargeth his desire as hell and is the base of man. You see, every vessel has its role, man. The scriptures make that very clear. It's not to he that willeth, nor to he that runneth, right? But to God that giveth the prize, man. All right, but let's go ahead and continue. Verse 25, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Right? So he's magnified himself, man. In his own head, he thinks he's this big when he's really, very minuscule. In fact, the base of man. It says, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but shall be broken without hand. So he's going to do what, man? Stand up against Yahushai. And he's going to be broken, man. He's going to be broken without hand. We have many scriptures on how exactly that'll be. You see? So this beast creature would come into power, and basically the earth would become his, man. Every nation has its or not every nation, I guess, but hey, these nations have had their time to rule, man. And right now we're living in the time of the Edomites, and we can see that when we go into Daniel, the 7th chapter, right? All the different beasts, all the different nations to bear rule, and how in particular time, this one beast, man, he's going to cause the whole world to follow after him, even to the point that, as it is written, right, he's going to make them bow the knee by doing what? You got to remember, this is the 21st century, man. This ain't ancient times, all right? They ain't gonna go bow to no ancient statue. They ain't gonna go bow to no giant graven Donald Trump. In fact, what are they gonna do, man? Revelation 13 and verse 16, and it reads, And he causeth all, you see, all, man, everybody, all nations, all of you nations are going to bow the knee to this devil. And you're going to do more than really bow the knee. You're going to take the digital ID, man. You're going to become his pet, right? You're going to worship him in doing that. Going on, it says, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand. And we've been talking about this, right? The charagma. And you know what's funny, man? All this time, you ain't seen no videos of people putting them in their forehead. But now, hey, living in the time of prophecy, man, what are they bringing? They starting to implement the brain chip. They starting to put it in your brain, man, in your forehead. Just as it is written, man. You see how the prophecy is just, again, the bone structures of these scriptures, man. If you believe in these scriptures, hey, you better read these prophecies, man. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark. And that's how people are going to be forced to do this, man. That's how your faith will be tested. Because if you can't buy or sell, you can't live. So you're going to have to choose one or the other, man. And your faith is going to be proved by exactly that, you see. So going on, it says, it says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. You see? A man. Here, the whole time, Christianity told us that the spiritual demon Satan was going to get up and cause the whole world to bow down to him. Hey, now we're living in the time of prophecy. We're seeing that this so-called spiritual demon Satan, right, in the flesh, hey, he's actually working as a man. He's working through his physical counterpart, which would be Esau, man, the base of man. All right? And what is his number? 666 being what? Destruction, destruction, destruction. The base of man, who was given the sword as his blessing, man. That's all he knows how to do, and that's what this world does, man. Stabs each other in the back, destroys each other, destroys each other's families, destroys each other's households, man. You people don't give a damn about each other, man. Just like this damn devil who rules over you. But hey, what are we establishing, man? Love. And Paul made that clear, right? Owe no man anything but to love one another, right? And he that loveth one another has fulfilled the law. And what? Because you ain't going to be killing each other, you ain't going to be stealing from each other. But this devil has taught you to say you love each other, and you do that to each other, man. Goddamn hypocrites, man. Which is why, hey, some of you just got to go, man. You're going to go the hard way, right? By fire. All right, so Lord willing, this is edifying, man. Call Allah like Yahweh Shem Yahushua Hashem Rakaku Dash. Double honors into the elders and the apostles at GMS Great Millstone. Hey, this wasn't really even, the direction that I had initially intended this lesson to go into, man. But hey, the Spirit took it, and Lord willing, it was edifying. Until next time, this is Brother Gar. Shalom.